They finally drew it up. Brees and the Saints have finally reached an agreement, according to our Ed Werder. The two parties agreed to a 5-year extension containing an automatic void to 2 years, meaning Brees is contractually committed to the Saints for this season and next only. He has been huge for the Saints since joining the franchise. Before Brees, New Orleans had only one playoff win in 5 10-win seasons in their entire history. But with Brees, the Saints have 6 playoff wins and a Super Bowl title in 5 10-win seasons. Oh, Max.
Well, come to me.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
Come to me.
Well, I want, okay.
No.
Okay.
Hell with that.
You're going to set yourself up. You realize that,
Hell
right?
with that.
So on that note,
with your
hell
chin,
with
you know that, right?
Stephen
You know
A., did he deserve more?
Absolutely. I'm not satisfied. I mean, listen, let me say this.
Team
Let me
up
say
with
this.
Max and
Let me say this. Congratulations to Drew Brees. I'm happy he's happy. He knows his money better than I know his money.
Yep.
Nothing but love for him, okay? But I'm going to say this. New Orleans Saints, y'all are one lucky organization, not just because of the greatness of Drew Brees, but because of the class of Drew Brees. He's underpaid. He's underpaid. What was the guaranteed dollar? What, 42, $44 million?
44.
$44 million? Max Kellerman.
Oh,
Let me
here we
go
go.
down the list, because you know, I have my producer extraordinaire,
Life
my
isn't
research
fair,
extraordinaire.
Stephen A.
No, I got to look at this.
Sabino?
Hold on, that's right.
Sabino's
David
two-timing
Sabino.
me?
Wait a minute.
David Sabino, are you two-timing me?
You know what? You can
Who's
have
from
him.
the
You can
Boogie
have him.
Down,
He's
like
great.
Fat
He's
Joe
great,
will be
but
with us.
you need him more than me. Here's the deal, man. Let's just look at this here. Joe Flacco, $62 million guaranteed. Matt Ryan, $59 million guaranteed. Matthew Stafford, $41.5 million guaranteed.
Got a nice arm.
Tony Romo, $55 million guaranteed. Well, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, there's nothing to debate there, okay? Russell Wilson, nothing to debate there. Andrew Luck, $87 million guaranteed. $87 million, okay? All right, okay. Let's look at this here. Alex Smith, $45 million guaranteed. Where's this damn Ryan Tannehill? $45 million guaranteed for Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill, Jay Cutler.
Take one sip of water.
No.
Okay.
Jay Cutler.
Just looking out.
Jay Cutler, $54 million guaranteed. Jay Cutler is guaranteed more money than Drew Brees. Now, obviously, Drew Brees had guarantees before. This is the latest, and obviously his situation was up to have his contract revisited, renegotiated. These are guys that are on the books now. Doesn't mean that they won't get an extension this season or, sign a new signing bonus. I'm aware of all of that. Those were numbers that are just on the books, but more to come for them as well, and it could potentially be less. But I'm just looking at right now. Right now on the books, this is what the word guarantee comes associated with when it mentions those names. The Tony Romos, the Joe Flaccos, the Matt Ryans, the Jay Cutlers, oh my Lord, the Ryan Tannehills. And Drew Brees, 10 consecutive seasons of throwing for more than 4,000 yards. 4 of those times throwing for 5,000 plus yards. And Drew Brees asked for $60 million in guarantee, and you give him 44? To me, Drew Brees deserved at least 55, if not the whole $60 million in guaranteed dollars. I think they're at least $11 million short. As far as I'm concerned, he deserved more. They're lucky he gave them a hometown discount, looking out for this organization, being class personified, because that's who he is. Drew Brees deserved more money, and as far as I'm concerned, he's underpaid. He's underpaid.
Why is it unsurprising to me that you're wrong about this? Seems to be a pattern on this show.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm waiting for it to be a pattern.
What is a guarantee really about? It's about how far you can. Well, let's back up for a second. Every time you see
Stop talking to the kids.
someone, I need to teach
Stop
them
talking
something.
to the kids.
You're leading them. He's leading you astray. I'll talk to you. Every time you see a player renegotiate his contract, what that restructuring is about, it only happens when it's beneficial to both parties, the team and the player. It gives the team cap relief because they get to spread out money over more years. It gives the player more money up front. Now, it's good for both parties in this case. But who won the negotiation, if you want to look at it that way? Obviously, the Saints won the negotiation. And the reason they won in this case is because their position was correct. They basically are telling Drew Brees, who's going to be 38 years old these playoffs, which the Saints likely will not be a part of, they're telling him, look, as Max Kellerman's been saying on TV to Stephen A. Smith every day, no quarterback who ever lived has ever been an elite quarterback at age 41. We will pay you through age 40. That's it. That's what this was really about. And they were right about that. What all those quarterbacks you named had in common, except for Tony Romo, is none of them will be 38 years old anytime soon. And Romo didn't just redo his deal. Believe me, if Romo was up for a contract renegotiation right now,
well, that's why
he ain't getting more money.
That's why I acknowledge that that's something that you might have signed a couple of years ago. I was just reading the numbers that was on the books because I'm fully aware that Tony Romo wouldn't get that number now. But you have
those other guys are in their 20s.
You have to understand. I'm one who believes Tony Romo never deserved it in the first place.
All right.
I'm one who never believed that Matt Ryan deserved it in the first place. I'm one who never believed Jay Cutler. I think he should be banned from Chicago. I mean, this dude is just stealing money. He should be arrested for theft every time I think about him being a quarterback.
Now,
for the
that's
Chicago
not fair.
Bears.
Cutler is a fine quarterback unless it's the NFC Championship game, then he quits. But otherwise, he's an excellent quarterback.
You realize how you sound? I mean, oh, my Lord. I'm trying to, you sound like, you know, what is it, Rhea Shriver? What's the guy's name
Reeve
that does?
Shriver.
That's right. That does the, you know, the 24/7, all of this. You sounded like him. No, I think that's unfair to Jay Cutler. Really?
Yes.
Jay Cutler?
He always gives it all unless it's the NFC Championship game. Let's get back to being serious for a second. To give Drew Brees, like, you're acting like all these quarterbacks got paid. Drew Brees never got paid. He's been paid. He was paid when he was a younger man.
And I'm saying he still deserves to be paid.
And he's getting paid for 2 more years.
And,
How, you think he's going to be good forever?
I think that he deserved the $60 million that he was seeking. That's my point. I've never debated the years with you because that's a different...
But that's what the guaranteed money's based on is the years.
You're talking about what makes sense. There's no disputing that in terms of the years.
Of course there's no disputing what makes sense when I'm talking.
Well, listen, I tried to tell you that yesterday. You're just deaf when you want to be deaf. Huh? But what I'm trying to say to you is this. I'm talking about the $60 million. I was arguing the point that Drew Brees is worth $60 million in guaranteed dollars right now. You were making the argument that he wasn't because he's going to be over the age of 40.
Right.
We understand how complicated things can get because of the cap and things of that nature. Right. Nobody's ignorant up here. We're simply saying that $60 million.
So you think he deserves 38?
I think Drew Brees, what I'm saying to you is this. If you want to sit up there and say he can't get the money because of the salary cap, I understand that. You were saying he doesn't deserve it because he's old and he's not going to produce past the age of 40.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not. Because I'm saying to you right now in his sleep, Drew Brees is worth that $60 million. That's all I'm saying.
But but you can't not divide by the number of years. Look, the whole thing about these bonuses and how they're structured started with Jerry Jones, who helped push the salary cap through. As soon as the salary cap got through, he signs Deion Sanders. Everyone said, how can you do that? You can't afford it under the cap. He said, no, look, I'm prorating the bonus over this many years. So the length of the contract makes a difference.
Max Capologist Kellerman, we understand that. I am simply saying to you, I was making the argument that in a culture that we're living in, with the money that these quarterbacks are getting, don't you sit up here and say to me, that man with his production, with that talent, ain't worth $60 million. Tell me, Stephen, he's worth it, but you can't do it because they're strapped. Don't tell me his talent
let me phrase it
isn't worth
Stephen,
$60 million.
He's worth it, especially under perfect ideal throwing conditions where he plays and he can throw 7 touchdowns in a game. I've seen him do it against my Giants. He's amazing, all that. And he can do it for 2 more years, and therefore you can't give him $60 million because that's like paying him for 3 more years.
But you were saying, Max, that he wouldn't produce after 2 more years because he'd fall off a cliff.
Yes.
I was making the argument, no, just like I said, Brady, no.
So, wait, let me get this straight.
They're both going to produce in 3 years.
And then the next guy's so it's like the 4-minute mile. No one's done it until everyone does.
3 years from now, both of them will be big time.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Oh, you angry
I got some bad news for you coming up later in the show.
Both of them.
Oh, Lord. Up next.
You're watching First Take, presented by Bass Pro Shops.
Football is back, and we have a rematch of Super Bowl 50 from Mile High. Denver is the defending champ, but Carolina favored by 3 on the road tonight. We also get our first look at Trevor Siemian as the Broncos' new starting quarterback. We asked you guys earlier in the show, who wins the opener tonight? The results are in. 71% are saying the Panthers. Mark Schler is still here with us. Mark, the people are rolling with Carolina. Are you giving Denver a shot tonight?
Absolutely. Gary Kubiak, coaching for the Denver Broncos, is 5-1 as an underdog. And this is a team that plays with a legitimate chip on their shoulder. I called them on Mike and Mike this morning habitual line steppers on defense. They're going to have 3 personal fouls because they play over the edge. They constantly do. And they play with this chip on their shoulder like we won a world championship with quarterback play that resulted in 23 picks. We don't need great quarterback play. We'll play outstanding special teams, and we will create turnovers as a defense. And you look at the last 2 times they've faced the Carolina Panthers, they have created 13 total sacks on Cam Newton, countless numbers of pressures. He's thrown 2 touchdowns versus 3 interceptions. He's had the fumbles in the Super Bowl. They have dominated, absolutely dominated those games defensively. And I don't see anything in my mind that changes that right now for this defense.
What about the fact that they don't have Malik Jackson? They don't have that pressure in the middle that they had maybe to the extent where they could collapse the pocket and help the rest of that defense perform on the level they've been performing?
Well, I will tell you this. Going back and looking at that Super Bowl, if they don't keep extra offensive players, be it tight ends or running backs, in to protect the edge, Michael Remmers got absolutely ramshackled against Von Miller. Both edges got destroyed. Now, Malik Jackson's a great football player. His presence was more about the running game in my mind than it was about his ability to rush the passer. But still, they're going to have to, as a coaching staff, do a much better job of finding a way to protect Cam Newton and saying, listen, if it takes running 3-man routes or 2-man routes and keeping 7 men in or 8 men in, that's what we're going to have to do. So they have got to make a mental shift in the way they protect the edges, the way they protect against this Denver Broncos defense. Because if they go out and do the same thing they've done the last couple times they've played, they're going to get beat down again.
Well, I agree with you there. I just don't think they'll do that. I'm struggling to figure out how Denver is going to win this game if they can't really score. You trying to tell me that Trevor Siemian, you have the confidence in him that he's going to be able to go against this Carolina defense? I get Kubiak. I get who he is and how he likes to do things. You look at Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. Outside the numbers, we know what kind of damage that they can do. I'm wondering about your tight end spot. I'm wondering about C.J. Anderson. I'm wondering about what I consider to be a rookie quarterback. I know he was drafted, in the 7th round, but he didn't throw an NFL pass last year. So your first order of business, your first real day on the job, you're going up against the defending NFC champions who are very, very big, very, very physical, with an elite front 7, and you're telling me you think Denver's got a really, really good chance of winning this game?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, defensively, what they've been able to do to Cam Newton in this offense, that's one feather in their cap. And then I look at them offensively, run the football, create some play action. Trevor Siemian is not going to be a high-volume passer. If he is a high-volume passer, if he has to throw over 25, 26 times, then I think they end up losing this game. But I just don't believe that that's the formula in Denver right now. We're going to see. You know, the great thing about playing in the NFL is you never know until you get the opportunity. You never know. I'll never forget the first game I ever played was with the Washington Redskins against the Philadelphia Eagles in the old vet, the #1 defense in all of football. And I am as nervous as I could possibly be. I mean, I am scared to death. And Doug Williams walks down, the starting quarterback, walks down the bus as we're getting ready to go. He walks right past me, stops, turns around, comes back, taps me on the shoulder. And he said, the only difference between you and them is they got an opportunity and they made a name for themselves. And he goes, and today, you know what? You're going to go out there, you're going to have that opportunity, and you're going to make a name for yourself today. I have nothing but the utmost confidence in you. And I can't tell you, I was still scared to death, but I can't tell you what that did for me as a player to have that vote of confidence from my starting quarterback coming down that bus. And this is what sets players apart. We see first-round draft choices all the time coming to this league and are complete and total busts. And then we see 7th-rounders get an opportunity in this league and are great players. And that's the difference. I don't know what he's going to be, Stephen A. I don't. Till I watch him, till I see how he responds to a turnover or to a bad play. If he wilts like a flower in the summer heat, then we're in trouble. But if that guy stands up and wipes it off and keeps going, then, you know, you have an opportunity to be good.
What that story tells me is good to have veteran leadership at the quarterback position, which Carolina has.
Only you could twist that.
It's not only him. I feel the same way.
What about the fact that now Cam's got his best receiver back in terms of dealing with the Broncos? He didn't have Benjamin last year. He has him now. Doesn't that make any kind of a difference?
Well, obviously, it's always a confidence thing. To be able to throw that up 50-50 balls and think that your guy's going to come away with it, that's great. But it doesn't change the philosophy of the Denver Broncos. You watch them play on a consistent basis. They did it to New England. They do it to Pittsburgh. They did it, you know, to Carolina in the Super Bowl last year. They're going to line up in man-to-man, bump and run, press you off the line of scrimmage, and try to physically beat you up so their pass rush can get there. He is not an elite-level quickness guy. He's a big-bodied guy that fronts guys up. He's a good receiver. But he's not an elite level, let me get open in 1.8 seconds so you can throw me the ball. That's not his game either. So I don't know that that's that big a difference maker. The 50-50 ball, I'll give you. The red zone ball, I'll give you. But I don't know that it all of a sudden goes, oh, that's the reason they win, and they'd have won the Super Bowl last year if Calvin Benjamin would have been there. Absolutely not. I don't buy that.
Yeah,
You picking the Broncos tonight?
Absolutely, I'm picking the Broncos.
Oh, of course he is.
Right?
Of course,
You'll be around tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be around tomorrow.
We'll
and
tomorrow.
You know what? I'll come in my Simeon jersey.
You will.
I don't have a Simeon.
I was getting ready to say I might hold you to that, but I didn't know they were selling those yet.
Unless Greenberg got you one. He made one at home.
Right, exactly.
Mark, thank you so much for being with us. Hopefully we will see you tomorrow. Coming up.